Hello guys, today we are going to start you a new topic on the C programming language, which is named to array structure on the C programming language. And so to take a seat back and enjoy this lesson, okay? And so as always do, we need to create a new project on the Visual Studio program. And so as always the C++ programming is selected, and we should select the empty project and push the next button in here. And so we need to direct the following browser in here, like the week 11, and so the folder name is week 11. And so the project name or the solution name assigned to what? The week 11, okay? And so if you push the create button in here, and then we obtain the full of the IDE programming, okay? And so as always do, we should create the main body function or the main file in this solution, okay? And so in order to do that, we need to add the source file to add button in here as a new item should be selected. And so we need to select the C++ file programming in here, and so the main.c with the extension of the C. If we are choosing or writing the C++, and so we got the different compiler on the C programming language, okay? And so if I push the enter button, and so the selected page or the editor is opening, okay? And so firstly we should test our program is okay, or we can compile or run the codes on this program. And so the printf should be written in here, hello guys, okay? And so if I push the Control F5 button in here, and so the debugger is run, and then we got the debug console in here with the written words of the hello guys, okay? And so these are the main approach in this lesson, but we should create the head title on this editor. And so array structure is our topic on this lesson, okay? And so firstly what is the array structure? Array in C programming language, array is a variable that can store the multiple values, but especially in one basic difference the other variables, which is that to sequential storing can be accomplished by using the array structure, okay? And so array is another variable in our C programming language, and so that can store the multiple values or what? The variables, but in especially with the sequence order of RAM address points, okay? And so if you don't get it, what does it mean, the array structure? As you recall, in the beginning of the lesson or the other sessions, we have talked about the RAM and CPU in C program or in our hardware design, okay, in the correct term. And so any variable in C programming language firstly stored into what? Into the RAM address points or the address region, okay? And so for example 0x00 stores the what? 0000000. It's a 1 byte, okay? And so 0x01 is stored to 111000110, okay? And so blah blah blah, this is continue to what? To end of the address point, okay? And so for example 0001111, okay? And so everything in the computer architecture, it starts like this one, but this is what? This is the RAM structure, okay? And so, if I had this structure point, and so if I created any variable on the C programming language, like this one, for example, integer a is equal to 5, okay? And so, in the RAM region, the compilers stores or specifies the specific address point, like this one, 0xFE98 blah blah blah, okay? These are the region of the address point on the RAM, and so 0000, and so in the binary region or the binary comparison with the 5 value is equal to the what is equal to the 1001, okay? 2 over 0 1 2, okay? This is the binary assignment to 5, okay? But in our system, the integer value is equal to the what is equal to the 4 bytes, okay? Integer type is always stores or close to 4 bytes on the RAM point, and so this address point is exactly to what? FE90 0xFE96, and so 0xFE95, okay? This is 1 byte, and so the other terms is coming from the what? The compiler section, because in the 5 we can only use the 5 1 byte to store it, okay? And so the other things in the RAM region is equal to the what is equal to the this one, okay? And so and so the 4 billion number can be stored by using the integer value, okay? But what is the array structure? Normally the integer can be stored like this one, and so the integer a is equal to the 5, and so integer b is equal to the 6, integer c is equal to the 7, okay? And so the every variable should be kept by using the integer values, okay? And so how can we create the multiple sequence variables on the RAM structure? This is called the array structure, and so the variable like this one, integer a, that can store the multiple values variables like this one. The starting address point is that 0xFE95, but the compiler b and c may be kept in the what? The AA91 or 0x0F11, okay? This is distinct separate regions on the RAM structure, and so if we have used the array structure to store these variables, and so we can assure that this variable, the b and c, is kept into the what? Into the 0xFE or 0xFE9a or 0xFE9f, because the 5 plus 5 gives the a value, a, b, c, d, e. E is the 5 bytes, and so this is also equal to this one. And so what about the array structure? Array structure gives us these points on the RAM structure, okay? And so why do we need to use this? These are the main point, especially in the microprocessors needs this feature, because since, or in here, if we had the sequential order variables or the address points, and so microprocessors much faster than the other things, okay, because in the RAM structure, RAM reach the specific address points, and so if we have the specific address points at 3 different sections, and so the RAM should be searched by the compiler at 3 cycles, okay. But if we have the array structure in here, and so we can obtain the whole variable from the array structure at 1 cycle, okay. Since and so the microprocessor needs this feature, and so since it is much higher or faster, okay. This is not the general usage or the English incorrect words, but I can spell it, okay. Ignore it or I can ignore it in here. And so what about the other reason to use the array structure? And so if we have the address region, address point of array, the address point of array can be used to easily obtain the variables, can gives us a way to simple programming technique, because if we have the knowledge of some variables in the sequence order, and so we can easily obtain this variable only by using one variable, the array name, okay. This is why we use the array structure in here, and these 2 conditions are important, especially in mechatronic engineering, and so as well as the computer structure or the electronical engineering, okay. And so these are the basic information related to the array structure, and then we can pass or move with the example session in order to understand how can we use or implement this array structure in the C programming language, okay. And so as always, I do the include standard input output dot h should be included in here, and so its main function should be given at this point, okay. In the example 1, I can show you the some address region points. Int a is equal to the 5, int b is equal to the 7, and so reaching address points on RAM can be obtainable or printable in the C programming language if we have the variables a and b in here, and so the address of a can be written by the %p or the pointer type. You don't know the pointer, but it's okay, because in this lesson we will not focus on it, only the array structure, okay. And so the other address of b, like this one, the new line should be given here, and so the address of b is equal to the what? %p, new line in here, and so in order to obtain the address value of these things, and so the address a or ampersand a and ampersand b should be given at this position, okay. And so if I run this program, and so the okay, this is not okay, and so okay, and so the address of a 005FFC78C6C, okay. The address of b and address of a is in the order of these things, okay. What about the double value? And so if I run this program, and so this double value is stored in the address of these things and these things. And so you should not be wrong point at this time, because in the debug console in this Microsoft Visual Studio, the whole address points, like the simple codes, is stored at the next point. But in the microprocessors or the simple, not a simple system, this cannot be obtained by using these things, because the address of A is what? D4 and C4, and so we have 16 bytes at 2 points, and so it's similar to like the sequence order of this, but it's not. The Microsoft Visual Studio optimized this code, and so these two variables on the sequence order, but it's not. Okay. In any microprocessor you cannot reach this optimization. The Microsoft Visual Studio or the Windows optimize these codes, and so gives us these things. Okay. This is how we can use the address points, or the how can address point is showing in this graph. Okay. And so what about the array structure? This is the first example. It's related to what? They're related to the address of these things. And so in the example 2, we need to focus on the example 2. How can we define the array structure? Okay, I'm going to show you two structure or the syntax of these things, and so additionally I can also show you the semantic of this stage. Okay, so in the array structure we should give firstly the type name or data type. Okay, and so additionally we should give the array a name like the A, B, C, and so we should open a parenthesis and closing a parenthesis, but not the sharp parenthesis. Okay, and so the how many elements should be stored in this array should be given in here. Okay, array size. For example, or in the example session, we can define an integer type array with the name of A, and so open and close parenthesis in here, and so we can give the 10 value at this position. Okay, and so what about this variable? The name of array is equal to the what? The A value. The size of this array is 10, and so in this system the integer is equal to the 4 bytes, and so the 40 bytes is stored on the RAM to use in this main function block. Okay, and so if I run this program, and then I have no error, and so this is the syntaxly, or there is no syntax error at this position. Okay, and so these are the first condition in here and the first example. We can also define other type of the variables like this one. The float array can be defined with the name of the B, and so if I run this program, and so there is no error in here. Okay, but I cannot define the float A 10 value in here. Okay, if I run this program, and then the compiler gives an error in here like this one, A meaning redefinition of the type. Okay, and so we cannot use the same name, on the array structure. Okay, and so even if its type is different. Okay. We cannot define also like this one, integer 1 ACSD with the 5 as an array, because the expected an identifier gives an error, because there is no variable shouldn't be started or should started with the number of these things. Okay, and so you cannot define any variable with a name of, or at the beginning of this name is a number. Okay, and the array is not defined also. Okay, the name of array cannot be started to a number or with a number. Okay. And so in the array structure, integers open and close parentheses can be defined in here, but we cannot define these things because the incomplete type is not allowed in here, because this array structure should be given to the what, to size of it. This is the equal to the null character, but we can use the 0 value in here. But the size of an array must be greater than the 0. In the previous version of the C compiler, this is not an error, but after the C++ 17, it's an error. Okay, and so if we define the 1 value in here, and so the array structure in here is defined. Okay. So syntax error. Okay, and so this is the basic structural feature of this array definition. And so if we learn to how to define the array notation in here, we can move to the next example session in here. Okay, example 3. And so the include std io.h should be given in order to use the printf function at this time. And so now we should focus on the initialization of the array structure. Initialization of an array. In order to initialize any array with the 5 dimension, we should use the fancy parentheses in here, like this one, 0. And so if I run this program, the whole elements is started or is initialized with the 0 value. But here is another problem. We can store the 0 value on the RAM points or on this array structure. But how can we obtain, or how can we reach variables in the programming language or in C programming language? Reaching the array elements can be given by for a specific for loops in here, like this one. The integer e is equal to the 0 at this time, and so I is equal to the 0, I is smaller than what, the 5 value, and so I plus plus can be given at this time. Okay, and so if I call the printf function in here, a %d equal to the what, the %d new line at this time. But in the first place we should give the index value I, and so in the second place, in order to reach the array elements in here, we can use this notation, a open and close parentheses in here with what, with the index of these things. Okay, we can reach the arrays by using this notation. Okay, if I run this program, and so the whole elements is started with the 0 value. But what about this integer a5 should be not initialized? And so if I run this program, and so there is no syntax error, but this compiler warns us using the uninitialized memory at the what, at a byte to 0. Okay, and so this value is an arbitrary value or garbage value on the RAM points. Okay, and so firstly we should know that if we have using or usage, or if we are using the array structure, we should initialize at the beginning of these codes. Okay, and so this points is defined with what, with the garbage value on the RAM point, and so this is initialized with the what, 0 value. And so how can we assign any arbitrary variable on this structure? 1, 2, 3, 4 can be given to the array structure in here. And so if I run this program, and so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the initialization value of this array notation. And so this is changed with the what, the 10, 30, 44. And so if I run this program, and so the a0 is equal to the what, 10, 2, 30, 44 and 5 value. Okay, this is the other way to initialize this notation. Okay, so other technique to initialize the array. And so what about this integer a5 value is equal to what, 1, 2, 3. Okay, these are general notation. And so if I run this program, and so the other terms of these things is equal to what, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and so the first 3 term is assigned to the a, and the other terms remains to the 0. Okay, not a garbage value. First 3 terms are assigned to 1, 2, 3, and the others are 0. Okay, and so if I have this knowledge in here, int a5 is equal to what, the 11 can be given at this time. And so if I run this program, and so the first term is equal to the 11, the other term is equal to the, or are equal to the what, the 0 value. Okay, and so the first term can be assigned by using these things. And so what about this? If int a5 is equal to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and so if I run this program, there is a syntax error in here. If we have used to comma value in here, and so we need to put the left hand side of this value as a number, or the right hand side of this comma, we should give the number to the compiler. Okay, syntax error. And so what about this condition? Int a5 is equal to these things, and so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but we should add 6, 7 in here. Okay, and so if I run this program, and then the compiler gives another error in here with the name of the what, too many initializer values on this structure. Okay, this is also another error with the initialization value of the array structure. Okay, syntax error. And so in the first condition we can use the 0 value at this time. Okay, and so if I run this program, the whole elements is initialized with the what, with the 0, 0, 0, 0 value, at this notation. Okay, so we can reach all the points on the array elements by using this structure notational things. And so we can move to the next example in here. Okay, not in here, here. Example 4. And so we need to include again the stdioh, and so int main function should be given at this time. Okay, and so a5 at this time the double array should be defined like this one, 0.0. Okay, and so in order to write the examples or all the array elements in here, E5 and E++ should be written like this one. Okay, a %d is equal to what? %lf, and new line should be added in here, e or I, a, I. Okay, and so if we run this program and then the 50 value is written in this range of these things. And so I'm forgetting to say that the whole array elements is the 0 in this, in the C programming language. Okay, and so how can we assign to new value on array structure? Okay, in order to do that, we need to utilize the index operator in here, like this one. For example, a0 is assigned to what? The -5.0. Okay, and so if I write the whole array elements like this one, the printf in here, and so if I run this program and then the first element is assigned to what? The 5 - 0 value. Okay, and so in order to more clear explanation or the showing the values of these things, we can use this notation in here, ai, and so okay, and so we can change this code with these things. Okay, so only the AI should be given at this time. And so if I run this program, okay, if I run this program and then the first element is changed with what? With the -5 value. Okay, and so a 2 value is equal to the 0 or 3.14, and 4 value is equal to the what? 5.0. Okay, and so if I run this program and then the first element is assigned to what? In the previous section we can assign to 0 value, but now we got -5 value. In the third element we have the 3.14 value or a pi value. Okay, and so at the last element we have this value. Okay, 5 dot. And so what about the assigned to 6 value as the 7.2 in here? And so if I run this program and then the program has stopped working, because in this notation the index 6 is out of the valid range to what? The 0 to 4 value. But this is not an error, only a warning value or warning statement, which means that it's syntaxically correct, but in a real-time application or the runtime process it's an error. or is it semantic error? Okay, or logical error. You can write these things, but you cannot reach these things. Okay, and so there are two options in here. We need to add two more elements with these 7 points in here, or we can remove these things. Okay, this is how we can assign to new value on the array structure in this notation. Okay, this is the for example in here, and so we can continue with some basic mathematical operation on the array structure. Okay, firstly, as always I do, include a section in here. Main function body should be added to the code. Okay, and so int a value or a5 is equal to what? In the initialization value we can use the structure of what? Integer I is equal to 0, e5, and so e++, and then we can assign to a value to what? I, or I times I value in here, and then we can print the results of this array structure. And so we can use the printf function body in here. A is equal to what? Is equal to this one, %d, and so on. Okay, and so at the final of this code, so we can move with the new line character. Okay, and so the AI is equal to the what? This term in here, and so this is wrong, right? Because we have a warning in here, %d in here. Okay, and so we need to add this code AI. But this is not a syntax error, just remember that. And so if I run again this program, and so 0, 1, 4, 9, 16 value is assigned to the array elements in this notation. And so how can we find the sum value of this array structure? We need to define the new variable in here, sum array variable in here. Okay, and so we can initialize with the 0 value. And so in order to create these things, integer I is equal to 0, e smaller than 5, e++ should be given at this position, and so the a stores the whole variable, square variable of the I value inside it. Okay, and so this sum array should be add to what? To itself plus a I value. Okay, and so after that we can write down the sum value of the array is equal to the what? %d new line with what? Sum array value at this time. And so if I run this program and then the sum value of this array 30 value, you should check that this is equal to the what? 9 plus 16, 25, 29 and 30 value. Okay, and so this is the one of advantage of this array. Okay, and so if I run, or if we define the multiple variable a, b, c, d, and so we cannot use the for loop in here, and so we don't have a smaller code or compact code on the C program. But if I use the array structure and then every variable just reaching by using some simple index value like this one, and so I can sum of this array, or I can divide, or I can product of this array with some constants or some other terms. And so in math we can design the matrices, we can design or we can define the vectors by using the array structure. Okay, and so this is the summation of this array points. And so we can also give the mean value of this array. Okay, with with the double value, because it's a floating point. Percentage LF new line, which is equal to some array structure with the division of the 5 value. Okay, and so if I run this program and then the mean value of the array is equal to 0. Okay, and so what's wrong with this code? The wrong is that this is a floating point or the double notation or long float value. And so we should cast this value with the double notation like this one. This is equal to 6 value. Okay, and so these are the full of our example. But how can we define the specific 5 variable in here? You should notice that the 5 value is used at everywhere in this code, and so we can define some specific define preprocessor on this code or precompiler code or macros with the size is equal to 5. Okay, this size value is changed with this 5 value, and so if I use this notation in here, if I run this program and then the size of this notation is given to is given to the 5 value, and so we can run this code at the 5 value in this stage. And so what about this? If I change this size value with 10, and so the AI is equal to a 10 integer number array, and so I can expand the array notation or the array byte structure by using only this size value in here. Okay, I'm sorry, here. And so if I run this program and then the A creates the creates the 0 1 4 9 16 blah 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 81, and so the sum of the array structure is equal to 285, and so its mean value is directly equal to to an 8.5 value. Okay, this is how we can use this notation in here. But if I use this value, size array is equal to the 5 or 10 value in here, and so size array is equalized these things or is used in this term. And so if I run this program and then there is an error because the expression must have a constant value, or in runtime this size array should not be changed by the user or the compiler. Okay, and so we cannot use this structure, but we can use the const int value in here like this one, and so we can also use this notation in here, and so we can add another const value in here. And so if I run this program and then we cannot use this value in here, and so the size is equal to the 10 value, and so we should only utilize these things. Okay, and so what about this? Size is equal to 10 dot, which means that this is, or in the second example session, if I can define size value with 10 dot, And so if I run this program, and then there is a syntax error in here, because the expression must be an integral constant expression, which means that we cannot write the double value or the float value or char value in here. We just used only and only integer value at this time. But what about this a value in here? So if I run this program, and then surprisingly this code creates the array, but I can just, the size is equal to the what? The a value. And so what does tell us? It tells us that any char elements have the integer value on the compiler. Okay, this is not a surprise, because if we have used these char elements on this plane, and so automatically converted into the what? The integer values. Okay, this is how we can use this notation in here. Okay, and so this are the last example session in here. I hope you learn about everything in the array. It's impossible, but in this lesson we will try to give the introduction of the array structure in order to improve your skills or ability to writing in the codes in programming language. And so you should solve the mathematical equation or the mathematical notation in C programming language. You should write a code many times. Okay, and so if you have any further question, you can send me an email with the iscan@yıldız.edu.tr. and so this is the end of this lesson. Okay, have a nice day.